From the beginning of his involvement in filmmaking, Haile Gerima has wanted to haunt the audience all the way to their bedrooms. He is one of the fathers of African and African American resistance cinema in the US and on a global scale, and his films have been pivotal in challenging Black stereotypes since the 1970s. Instead of simply viewing film as a form of entertainment, Gerima views it as a powerful tool to be able to spread anti-colonial, anti-traditional Hollywood ideology through the production of cinema that is distinctly Black. Just like Bokolo and Semben, Gerima was another African filmmaker creating resistance cinema. Haile Gerima grew up in Ethiopia in the 1940s with two parents who were teachers, and his father was also an anti-colonial playwright. Gerima worked in a movie theater as a teenager, which was his first exposure to Hollywood films, and he loved traditional westerns. Moving to the US at age 21 in the 1960s, and being in college and film school in the early 1970s, he was surrounded by a significant amount of racism, and he got involved in the Black Power movement going on around him. Self-reflecting on the Hollywood westerns he grew up with, he started to realize that the Native Americans were voiceless and dominated by the white cowboys. He also began to think more critically about the anti-colonial work that his father was creating in Ethiopia, and he decided that he wanted to use film as a way to challenge negative depictions of Black individuals and provide a voice to the Black experience. While studying film at UCLA in the 1970s, Gerima banded together with filmmakers Billy Woodbury, Charlie Burnett, Zainabu, Irene Davis, and Julie Dash to create the collective LA Rebellion group. Together, they wanted to create films that challenged stereotypical Hollywood depictions of Black people in the 1970s, and this filmmaker group inspired Gerima to create a film about the Black experience with the transatlantic slave trade that previously did not exist. He created his first films, like Bush Mama and Sankofa, with limited equipment and resources. To quote Gerima, "It's important that we don't depict ourselves as victims. We had the audacity, without the money, to shoot on 33mm film, to show resistance as very much a part of the experience of slavery. We must constantly show that we can resist and we can fight back." One of the first films that he created as a part of his resistance cinema was Bush Mama in 1979, inspired by his experience in Los Angeles with racism and the criminal justice system. Years after establishing himself as a leader within the Black art film world, Gerima released Sankofa in 1993, a film about the slave trade filmed both in African countries as well as European countries and within the US. Sankofa was ignored by US media and distributors after its release in 1993, despite grassroots efforts by Gerima and his Black filmmaker friends to aid with distribution. With the help of Black activist groups and fundraising efforts from filmmaker Ava DuVernay in 2021, Sankofa was released on Netflix to be more widely available to US audiences. Gerima was inspired by the Black Power movement of the 1970s to use film as a way to disrupt and start conversations, much like many of the anti-colonial and art filmmakers that we've learned about all semester.